Herobrine was now officially stalking me. Not only did I have to deal with Mr. Salad Fingers and my hell-bent lover, the legend himself was going to be watching my every move. The roles were now reversed, and I found myself having to be the paranoid stalkee. He was quick to finding out what my schedule was like, so I decided I would mine instead. I was on the hunt for more ore, specifically iron or copper. I had the bright idea that I would make my own friends to keep me company, instead of the ones lurking outside. I found a good bit of iron that would come handy in the future, and then I would go to sleep for the night. The next morning, I awoke to search my surroundings just in case if anything was nearby. But then I decided I would go to the beach because I needed glass. For once, there were no monsters nearby, and I wanted to explore a little bit, and to my surprise, I found a buried ship beneath the sand. I actually had no idea that this was nearby. I was a little preoccupied with my #1 fans, and someone kept soiling my pants. But I haven't found that culprit yet. Being the lazy and disappointment-inducing Minecraft player that I am, I decide to dig up this ship by hand instead of making another tool. One day I'll dig it up. Psych! I'm a pro at Minecraft and I knew exactly where that chest was. There were some really good items in this chest, like the potatoes and carrots that I definitely wanted. I also took the armor so maybe I could get their enchantments, and some little stuff that isn't as important, but I'm a hoarder. I got to smelting all the sand I collected, and I added another furnace to up my production on the ores that I also collected. Everything was going very smoothly, so I decided I would build on my house. There's a mod that's installed with this mod pack that modifies half slabs, so I wanted to try it out. As you can see, you can place slabs flat against blocks, and you can also double stack them and break them one by one, which is useful. I wanted to see if I could make like a little border surrounding my window panes, but unfortunately it did not work. Not only was I being haunted by ghosts and my past, but also this phantom block. After dealing with that strange encounter, I was feeling pretty good about my house actually. I thought it would turn out to be kind of shit, but it's pretty good. I like how in certain parts of my footage, you can physically see my thought process going. It's like my brain is running at maximum power just to play Minecraft and decide on where I'm going to place blocks. Not even the appearance of Herobrine can stop this steam engine from barreling down the tracks. My favorite part of my house so far is definitely my fireplace, so I wanted it to look really well done. And thus concludes day 7. And on day 8, I woke up thinking I would finally finish my house today. That was not the case. With my brain now running at minimum power, I kept getting distracted a lot. At one moment, I would be working on my walls, and another moment, my fireplace, and then back to my walls. I definitely was feeling a bit of paranoia because I didn't want anyone getting inside my house anymore, so I tried my best to get my walls done, and perhaps a ceiling overhead. Get ready to witness another bout of maximum brain power. I knew I could do it. With the good old steam engine running a bit cold now, I decided to change things up. Unfortunately, the town freak had other plans. You know, I thought to myself, maybe he was just lonely and a little bit curious of what real people did in their spare time. I, of course, was not the prime example of that. It was now time for my next ADHD project, and I thought maybe I should have a farm. So I started naturally with a creepy-ass well. I think at this moment I was trying to see if the water would stick to the half slabs, but it just looked stupid. With nighttime soon approaching, I decided I would just go to bed and worry about the farm tomorrow. True to my word, on the 9th day, I got back to making my farm. I filled in some area with dirt, and then I actually got to making my plots. Just look at me go. I didn't know moving water could be so hard in Minecraft. I eventually figured out that you need 2 solid blocks of water in order to fill the whole thing, and life was good again. After dealing with my own Flint, Michigan, I figured I should probably get some seeds to plant into the earth. I would eventually need some cows, so I definitely wanted to get that farm started. Once again, getting distracted, I decided I would work on my house some more. Specifically, my porch. After working all day, night soon again was upon us. Maybe tonight was the night I would finally sleep with a ceiling over my head. I never knew building a roof would be so emotional. I'm gonna assume that everyone who is watching this has probably beaten the first Red Dead Redemption. Do you remember the part where John is writing back to his wife and son after finally killing Dutch? This is what that kind of feels like. It was now time to fall back into a deep slumber. And straight back into the grind. Why did she leave me? When I was deep in my thoughts, that's when I noticed him. With my roof almost finally finished, I decided I would work on an accent for my front door. It was obviously more important to my little pea brain at that moment than to keep out Herobrine himself. I didn't like just the wood framing the door, so I decided I would also frame the window with those half slabs. I now deemed it much better looking than before. That evening, he was back. And this time he did not have social anxiety. With a thin barrier of glass that separated us, he knew he was defeated. But he left a present.
Go fuck yourself.
Not only did he trespass on my property, but also left his trash behind. He definitely was very upset with me for some reason, as he just kept harassing me. I decided I would barricade the door for tonight, because I definitely didn't want Herobrine letting in my jilted lover. At this point, I was thinking to myself that I definitely really wanted some friends soon. On day 11, I awoke, deciding I would finally go get some friends. But first, before I left, I decided I would repurpose Herobrine's sign. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Perfect. Do you remember that green little guy in the first episode? Well, now it was time to relocate him to my home. And what I mean from relocate is definitely shoving him into my boat and forcefully swimming him all the way to my house and then closing him forever inside. With love, of course. Take it from me, if you ever want to find yourself a partner, just follow those 3 steps and I guarantee you'll have someone for the rest of your life. They might not like you for a while, but that's where the power of Stockholm Syndrome comes into play. I've also been looking for that green little guy, and I'm starting to think that the worst has happened. Someone else has obviously kidnapped him. Relocated him. Or he died a brutal, violent death in this lava. Oh, just kidding, there he is. What you see here is definitely not a crime. I'm simply taking him to his house. I didn't add the clip, but there's a taxi service also included within the mod pack, and that's just what I'm doing. I'm his taxi. Now, what you're seeing here obviously isn't what it looks like. Wheelchairs haven't been invented yet in Minecraft, so I'm just helping this guy up the stairs. This hurts me more than it hurts you. With my Great Maw finally acquired, it was time to Great Maw proof the house. No mining for the green one. Sure enough, fire does indeed hurt. Therefore, I didn't want my little green guy to get hurt by it. So I decided to build a makeshift fire guard. To be clear, I would die for this green little Great Maw. Therefore, his name now will be known forth as Squishy. With Squishy acquired, I wanted to see if I could get like a name tag. With fishing pole acquired, that means I decided to go mining. I had a lot of projects on my mind, finishing my roof, maybe reaching a cave to get better equipment, avoiding the man that keeps coming inside of my home. That's right, I'm talking about you, bitch. I got bored of mining and went back upstairs, and of course it was raining, so that means monsters would be outside. The local meth addicts decided to send an ambassador to try to work out our differences, but we all knew that violence was the answer. So I got my boots on, got the right amount of leather, and it was time to slaughter Adam Lambert. That's what you get for being born in Indiana. At some point when I was under the ground, it had turned into day 12. So after all of that, I decided to fish. I'm not sure how long day 12 actually was, but I do know that nothing really happened. I woke up to a beautiful morning on day 13. But it really wasn't. Deciding to see the good in my jilted lover, I never got that restraining order. But I guess I really should have. Because there he was, standing on my trees again. I know looking him in the eyes sends the man into a hot, blinding, seething rage. So naturally I would always do that. Uh-oh.